welcome to the Movieception Show. I am Fariba, and we're just about to watch the first episode of House of the Dragon. Yes, let's just clear this awkwardness in the room. Yes, this is a prequel series to Game of Thrones. There's still that divisiveness in terms of what happened in season 8, just because it was just poorly executed. I mean, for someone like me who kind of knew what was going to happen, like even I thought it was just done poorly. But even with that being said, right, I'm not going to let my frustrations on what happened with Game of Thrones season 8 be put on this prequel series. I mean, it's a totally different series for one thing, right? I mean, yes, it is a prequel. It's supposed to take place 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones, but it is being made by different filmmakers, different creators, different showrunners. It's not going to be D&D this time. So hopefully I'm a bit optimistic that things will actually go on well. Because, for one thing, I hope they've learned the mistakes from season 8, for one thing, and I think George R.R. Martin has been very involved with this series as well, so I'm going to keep my hopes up and hope that's going to be a great series, even for its first season, right? I'm not going to expect, perfection, but yeah, no, I'm going to keep my mind open and hope for the best for House of the Dragon. I mean, for one thing, I am excited for the theme song, for one thing, but yeah. But yeah, that's all I have to say about just the preview for it. So I'm just super stoked to see what's going to happen. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started with our reaction video.
So, in the year 101, the old king called a great council to choose an heir.
Holy crap, look at that.
14 succession claims were heard, but only 2 were truly considered. Princess
Do you hear the Targaryen song? I hear it.
And her younger cousin, Prince Viserys Targaryen, the king's eldest male descendant.
The Prince Viserys Targaryen remain Prince and throne.
Rhaenys, a woman, would not inherit the Iron Throne. The lords instead could tear down the House of the Dragon. It was itself.
Interesting, so we're not getting a full-blown theme song. Okay. So 2 years in the birth of his daughter. Oh, yeah. Dragons. Oh, they're playing literally the Targaryen song. Oh my god. Let's just appreciate the music right now. It's been so long. Oh. Oh, look at that beautiful bastard. Oh. Oh my lord. King's Landing. Oh. It's been quite some time. We have returned. Wow, it looks so much cleaner. It's so much cleaner than what Cersei has ever done, right?
On Dragonbank? Your Grace, at Prince Damon's urging, the Crown has invested significant capital in
She's
recreating
demoted
the
to a
re-equipping of the
cupbearer?
city
What
walls.
the hell?
I thought you might urge your brother to fill his seat in the council and provide an assessment of his progress as commander of the wall.
This is like way more accurate to the books than the actual Game of Thrones show itself.
Nuoso dime, che si nuovo temi posbedlados.
Doch han palit mot statin högsta år. En synd dras man koda brimas to da år.
She's speaking Valyrian.
I brought you something. Do you know what it is?
It's Valyrian's deal. My dark sister.
Turn around. Now, you and I both own a small piece of our ancestry.
Okay. I mean, yeah, Valyria, right? So,
Okay. Under your grace. Can you say yet what it is?
We've sent inquiries to the Citadel. They're searching the text for similar cases.
It's a small cut from sitting a throne. It's nothing.
The king has been under heavy stresses preparing for the birth. Bad hues of the mind can adversely affect the body. Whatever it is.
It was an unprecedented round of understood the race.
so clearly he's an asshole. This is an attorney that we never got.
I would gladly take it. I thought I needed it.
Isn't that a Baratheon? Oh my gosh, that's a Baratheon. I see a stag.
Tongues will not change the succession. Let them wag.
Lord's daughter.
Oh, they both fell. Oh, so that's Robert Baratheon's ancestor right there, I see. Do I see the Martells? Oh, yeah, I saw the Sun Spear. Oh, hell no. At least the horse, okay, right? That's all that matters.
Has he done, Uncle?
Thank you, Princess.
Now, I'm fairly certain I can win these games, Lady Allison. Having your favour will all but assure it.
Uh-oh.
Good luck, my prince.
It's been 70 years since King Mabel's End. These nights are as green as summer grass. None have known real war. Their lord sent them to the tourney field with fists full of steel and balls full of seed. And we expect them to act with honour and grace. It's a marvel that war didn't break out at first blood.
Prince Daemon Targaryen wishes to continue in a contest of arms.
Oh.
Was your solution?
A half measure, Your Grace. The truth is, Daemon should be far away from this court.
Daemon is my brother, my blood, and he will have his place at my court.
Let him keep his place at court, Your Grace. But if the
That
gods
called
should visit
nepotism.
some further tragedy on you, either by design or
Design?
accident,
Design.
My brother would murder me. Take my court.
Could.
Are you? Please.
Daemon has ambition, yes, but not for the throne. He lacks the patience for it.
the gods have yet to make him that.
Look up. No queen has ever sat the Iron Throne.
That is only by tradition and precedent, Lord.
If order and stability so concerns this council, then perhaps we shouldn't break 100 years of it by naming a girl heir.
Daemon would be a second Maegor, or worse.
Pass.
He's impulsive and violent.
I wouldn't know what to say.
It's not bad. He'll be glad of a visitor. You might wear one of your mother's dresses.
He really just. Okay.
It's a favourite of mine. I do know how passionate you are for the histories.
Yes, I am.
When my mother died,
What do you mean? You will address me as your grace, or I will have my Kingsguard cut out your tongue. The heir for a day. Did you say it?
Oh. Cocky.
We must all mourn in our own way, Your Grace.
Mourn in your own way.
My family has just been destroyed. But instead of being by my side over near it, you chose to celebrate your own rise! Laughing with your whores and your leg spittles!
Oh, he's
You
finally
have no
opened his
eyes
eyes.
in court but me! I have only ever defended you! Yet everything I've given you, you've thrown back in my face!
You've only ever tried to send me away to the Vale, to the City Watch, anywhere but by your side. 10 years you've been king, and yet not once have you asked me to be your hand.
Why would I do that?
Because I'm your brother. And the blood of the dragon runs thick.
Then why do you cut me so deep?
I've only ever spoken the truth. I see Otto Hightower for what he is.
An unwavering and loyal
A cunt. Our second son, who stands to inherit nothing he doesn't seize for himself.
Otto Hightower is a more honourable man than you could ever be.
He doesn't protect you. I would.
From what?
Yourself. You're weak,
Oh.
Viserys.
Okay.
And that council of leeches knows it. They all prey on you for their own ends.
I have decided to name a new heir.
I'm your heir.
Not anymore. You are to be turned to a moonstone.
Oh, who remembers this? Eh? Oh. Oh. You all know what this is about, hey?
Father,
Look the tides and master of Driftmark. Promise to be faithful to King Viserys and his named heir, Princess Rhaenyra. I pledge fealty to them, and shall defend them against all enemies in good faith and without deceit. I swear this by the old gods and the new.
Old gods and the new.
This is no trivial.
Oh, Baratheon.
There's something else I need to tell you. Might be difficult for you to foresaw the end of Valyria. Aegon foresaw the end of the world of men. Just to begin with a terrible winter, gusting out of the distant north. I, Rickon Stark, Lord of Winterfell.
Oh!
Absolute darkness riding on
Did you say Recon
and
Stock?
whatever dwells within will destroy the world of the living. When this great winter comes, Rhaenyra, all of Westeros must stand against it. And if the world of men is to survive, a Targaryen must be seated on the Iron Throne. A king or queen, strong enough to unite the realm against the cold and the dark. Aegon called his dream the Song of Ice and Fire. This secret, it's been passed from king to heir since Aegon's time.
Hey!
Promise me this.
Is it the blade that Arya had? Oh, I'm seeing all these Oh.
I, Viserys Targaryen, first of his name, King of the Emerald and the Royal, and heir to the Iron Throne.
They're playing the Game of Thrones music too. haven't heard this in like 3 years. Alright, so that was the first episode of House of the Dragon, and let's just say it is very promising. I mean, does it have the vibes of Game of Thrones? And in some sense it is. Definitely has that dark, moody tone, and then just the fact that this is all kind of like medievalish setting, and I mean, it has everything like that, right? I mean, for one thing, I will say this: it's just one of the things I loved about this episode is just the number of references from Game of Thrones. I mean, from an instant, you can hear the Targaryen music playing in the background, like the Targaryen theme music. I mean, from the get-go, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what I remember. And they play that a lot throughout this episode, which, again, like, it definitely gives you a bit more chills just remembering, like, you know, some of the good things about Game of Thrones, you know. Definitely when I'm watching this episode, right, I get a lot of kind of the Queen Elizabeth vibes going on, because remember, like, with Queen Elizabeth, like, with her father, he had 2 daughters as well, and then Queen Elizabeth became the queen, right? I think here it's going to be a lot more different, of course, so it's not like that's going to be the same situation, but that was just a lot of vibes I was getting out of this episode. It's just kind of watching just the life of Queen Elizabeth, just like the essence of her story kind of being shown here in a sense, although again, that's not going to be the case, of course, moving forward after this episode. Like, that's not going to be the only thing that's going on, but just watching this, right, I definitely like how they kind of do things a little bit different, of course. Just how, I mean, again, it has more of that dialogue that's been really, really a big factor in terms of why Game of Thrones has been so great, is that it's not just, you know, having violence and action every like 2 minutes, right? Like, the whole point of having the dialogue is to set the stage of everything, right? And then just giving us just the idea of who the characters are, what is going on within the world, and sometimes it works great without having to, you know, put in explosions of sort, right? And here it's kind of like they really establish like the exposition of where this series is currently in its like the whole basis of what's going on in terms of this sort of lore of the Targaryens, and setting the exposition in just to give us the tension that's going to eventually brew as we get into the show. Again, is it the greatest episode I've seen? Definitely not. I think there are definitely times where it's just kind of like, okay, I wish they could have done more. I mean, for one thing, I'll say, I mean, it is very brutal. It is very gruesome. I mean, that one scene where they're literally just like attacking, like, not just attacking, but they're just setting the example, right, of like what not to do. I think thief or something they kept calling them, and then just how brutal that was. I mean, those are some things I think they've really amped up a lot more in this series. And then, of course, more dragons. I mean, you can tell, like, just from the production of it, they really amped it up. But one thing I have to say, that scene, the birth scene, I mean, holy crap. I mean, it's very rare to ever see from like a woman's perspective of childbearing, right? And then not just that, but just seeing that sort of perspective where it gets really, really heartbreaking. I mean, they really took it up a notch in a lot of things going on in this episode. Again, this is more just exposition, so it's not like, you know, it's not like the most perfect story that I've seen so far, right? I mean, it's just setting up the story. But for one thing, I mean, I'll say one of the things that it was just great hearing is a lot of the references to Game of Thrones. I mean, literally that last 5 minutes right there. I mean, holy crap, like, reference after reference. A Song of Ice and Fire, the fact that there's going to be this cold winter coming, and then the fact that they showed the one blade that Arya had that would eventually, you know, defeat the Night King, right? So yeah, I mean, lots of great references. I mean, it's a good way to start. It's not, again, the most the perfect episode I've seen. I mean, again, I'm hoping there's going to be a lot more going on, a lot more tension's going to brew. I mean, I don't know how it's going to work out in terms of the whole, you know, timeline situation, because I know that eventually we're going to get to the point where they're going to speed things up and then go further into the eventual future, and then that's when we have kind of, a much more grown up Rhaenyra and a much more grown up Ellison and it's not grown Daemon, but it's just the idea of it, right? But more attention will pursue in terms of the fact that we will have the Dance of the Dragon event happening soon. So I wonder how that's going to happen. But yeah, it's a good start. I mean, again, lots. It's just I think one of the great things I loved about this episode was just the nostalgia factor of it all. I mean, just again the music, literally the last 5 minutes with the references to basically Game of Thrones, and again they really amped up some of the quality of just everything, right? So from the dragons to the whole tourney scene, that was great, and then of course the whole situation, the birth scene, it was just really devastating to watch. I mean, what a great way to start. I mean, again, is it the perfect episode? No, but great way to kind of get the setting up and then just trying to give us an idea of what the show is going to be about. So I look forward to seeing what's going to happen in the next few weeks, and hopefully we'll see what's going to happen next week. But yeah, let me know what you think. Did you enjoy this episode? I mean, how do you feel watching this episode compared to your expectations from Game of Thrones Season 8, right? Did you catch some of the references from here? I mean, one thing I totally forgot to mention was the Baratheon, right? I mean, that was kind of a clear cut, or the fact that we saw Rickon Stark. Yeah, I mean, lots and lots of references. I mean, did you catch those? What do you think? What are your expectations moving forward, and what do you think is going to happen by next week? Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe.